Hey everybody, welcome to Paint Minis Live. I'm your host Bill T, and tonight we're going to be we're going to be painting some more Wolfenstein. Now that I've kind of figured out how to talk again, couple of things of note so far. The hounds are basically done. They need their bases done too. I think I'm going to go back and do them. Maybe next stream, I'll do some of the bases. I've got a lot of guys in this box that are not quite primed yet. And I might leave that for another time as well, probably tomorrow. I'm going to keep plugging away at the player cards tonight, probably. But I do have a couple of things I want to show off and talk about, because that's always fun. You want to do a little show and tell stuff, too. But we do have one guy here, one of these guard guys, I'm going to call him, just for the sake of the stream here. But we've got one little guard guy to play around with. And one of the things that I like to do as I'm kind of formulating how I want the paint scheme to look on a model is just paint one up in as a master model to essentially, if I'm going to be doing a squad of 6, I'll paint one master model, and as I'm painting it, I'll look for places that I could maybe that I could speed up the painting process as I'm going, or potentially places that don't need to be painted quite with the amount of heavy detail, because we're talking about like big army painting here, or batch painting on models. And I like to paint to a high quality and have a good sense of quality about me, but I don't necessarily need to. I don't necessarily need to make sure that I need to make sure that I'm painting with efficiency. Sorry. Again, I'm every time I'm streaming this week, it's right after a huge workout. I'm still working on the whole firefighter physical fitness stuff, so my brain is a little bit foggy this week, but my painting hand is still nice and steady, so that's fun. Had a lot of cool people comment about last stream. Some folks that I haven't seen around in a while. My old music teacher she was in the stream. She was talking to me. I guess I had said uranium girls, and it's actually iridium girls, I believe, is what she told me. So that whole play. Sorry to butcher that, but again, a little fuzzy. Looks like we got a couple of people kind of coming in. So before we get to painting all the Wolfenstein stuff, I got one more kind of show and tell thing. We'll probably go over this a little bit later too when, some folks roll in. But today I received in the mail, check this bad boy out. Yeah, boy. We got the Halo Flashpoint ginormous box set from Mantic Games, who is also a partner of PML. They're a business partner of PML too. I was not able to broker a deal fast enough to get the retail agreement to actually sell this when I was doing all the work for the PML hobby shop. But I've talked to them. They've said that it will be open to me soon. I won't be part of this first initial release wave, but I'll be eligible in very soon to carry this stuff. So, eventually you're gonna start seeing some Halo minis and stuff on the PML web store too, which you can check out at the linky link, or not linky link, but yeah, you can check it down on the linky link thing too. And we'll talk about how to get in there, because I have a link just in general, so you can take a look at it. But you should definitely go through one of our affiliates and give them a kickback, because our affiliates, they get a very high percentage of each order should you place one through their custom link. But let's check that bad boy out. It's so big I can barely fit it in the camera, like the camera box here. But like, look at all that mini goodness. There is so much in here for us to paint. My painting desk is basically full this year from this one box, as well as the like two other large painting projects that I've got on the table. So that's a thing. That's a thing. Now, let's see who's tuning in. Somebody from YouTube. Hello, person from YouTube. Nice to have you here with us. Let's go on to the next thing I want to talk about. How to get into PML. So you just Google paintminislive.com. That's all you got to do. If you're somebody that's creating stuff, you can come in here too. There's a orange button that says apply to be an affiliate. Let's, I think I might have to refresh this. Let's see here. Show me the mouse. There's the mouse. Okay. But yeah, you can apply to be an affiliate if you're doing stuff around YouTube and you know, are hobby centric, or you're painting models, or you're talking about RPGs, or you're talking about board gaming, or just anything hobby related. Honestly, if you're anywhere near this, you're able to, you know, kind of come on board. There's no have to have a large subscriber base or anything. There is zero bar to entry on this. As far as it goes, along those lines, you don't have to have a ton of people. You can just come right in. The only thing that I'm, you know, really looking for is that you kind of keep it hobby centric, and you're not like saying crazy stuff on the internet. Just people with a good head, right? Just like these fine folks here. These are our PML affiliates. Let's get this big screen. Come on. Big. Let's go. Okay, there we go. Like the Dungeon Delver, or our brother Mythos over at Frost and Fist over here, or the Dungeon Minister, who I got to see in Canada, or D&Disability, who talks about all kinds of cool educational topics when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, this guy puts white papers in his videos. It's pretty astounding, the amount of research that goes into some of that. Or Hexedpress, who I was watching just earlier today on a live stream, and he was talking about the little village of Hamlet or something like that, to do with his role-playing game and his hex crawls and stuff. And Lawrence over at Dirty Basement Terrain, who's over there. His icon speaks essentially his style, but he makes some of the most wickedly cool terrain on the cheap, and he'll teach you how to do it live. Just like I'm doing PML, he does his thing with that too, and yeah, he's really good. I got to see some of his stuff in Canada, and it's absolutely fantastic. Or the Redcaps Podcast, where you can go and check out all kinds of interviews with really cool people, and who talk shop about gaming or games they're creating or all kinds of fun stuff. And Bandit's Keep too. Daniel Norton over at Bandit's Keep, he talks all things RPG, old school kind of stuff, with a very well produced show. He's good at his craft. Speaking of good at their craft, Mage's Musings as well. He does like a puppetry kind of hokey, not really hokey, but like a little bit more laid back kind of RPG reviews and kind of let's play things going on with his stuff. But he's got this really cool puppet, Merlinster Gandalore, and a talking skull guy to kind of play devil's advocate. It's really fun. Go check him out. And then Bear, the Genx GM, too. Bear's just a total character in and of himself, but he likes to talk to everybody in the community about all kinds of RPG-related stuff, as well as he's got his own game development company, and he's working on this big old superhero game. These are all people who, if you come to this page, you can check out their YouTube channel. Again, it's on paintminislive.com. You can kind of, it's on paintminislive.com, and you can come check out these fine folks for all kinds of hobby goodness. The fun doesn't end here, folks. You can come hop on here and check out all these fine folks. And in the descriptions of their videos or wherever they've got it, they all have access to a Paint Minis Live affiliate link. There's one on here, You Old Geek. I put him on here, but he's we're working on getting him affiliated. He will be affiliated very soon. He was at the convention prior to the launch. I'm pretty sure he had an interest. He was trying to get a hold of me prior to launch, but it didn't work out. So I just have the door open, and it's kind of, a nice little. We just have him on here for now. But still, go check him out. You Old Geek is really cool. He's this bloke from the UK, and he talks about old school gaming and RPG related stuff as well. A very kind demeanor for John from Ye Old Geek. So again, I just kind of wanted to show this off because it's really cool. We have all these really cool people who have rallied around PML and who PML rallies around too. So check them out. Check them out. That's enough enough on that bandwagon. I'm so excited about it. It's hard not to talk about. So I hope you will forgive me on that front. I don't try to shill out or make it, try to seem like I'm trying to shill to you or whatever, but it's a really cool part of my life, and I like to share that with folks, and so that's why I do that. So again, tonight we're gonna work on our kind of our soldier guy. We'll work on kind of the player cards. We'll see what I've got the energy for, because energy is something that I've been lacking. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna get some tunes rolling here. We'll glove up. We'll get the air compressor up to pressure here, and we'll just bang out this model and see what else kind of happens. Yeah. So we got a little music there. That's good. That's good. It's kind of just the chill session tonight. I've got my comfy clothes on. Kind of feeling that easygoing vibe a little bit tonight. Usually I'm a bit more on top of stuff, but this is like just the craziest past couple of weeks for me. So having a little bit of time to veg and just kind of paint my pace is what I'm looking for tonight. And interact with all of you fine folks that make PML what it is today. It's always good to hear from you and see what's going on. I'm sure as the night progresses, folks will roll on in and want to chat about all kinds of crazy shenanigans, which you are more than welcome to. If you're interested, just say hi. Introduce yourself. Nobody bites here. We all just want to meet and say hello. All right. So I'm gonna get we're gonna get the PML extra special airbrush cam involved here. We can probably yeah, there we go. All right. Maybe take the branding off. I have to redo the branding at some point here. It gets a little bit in the way. I need to have like another size going on. We'll throw up the Friends of PML banner because it's fun. There we go. There we go. That's a bit more chill. So we're gonna get our gloves on here. I'm gonna take a look at some reference art too, maybe. As long as I'm kind of thinking about it. I haven't really seen what these guys look like. I mean, I have some reference art that I'm recollecting from that was given to me by Weird World War II Brian. He's a character for sure. Let's see. Oh. This is kind of the whole creative process, and you're seeing it live here on PML. Checking out. I think this is kind of the era of model that we're painting. I know they kind of change it up every now and then when it comes to let me get that going, and we're just gonna change. Let's see. Yeah, we can just navigate from there. Wolfenstein. I don't even know if that's how you spell that, but that's fine. Let's see. Yeah, this guy kind of... I think that's kind of where we're headed with this. I don't know how much imagery I want on here to display. Okay, this is all pretty tame. Okay, if you could load, that'd be great. Oh, it's just gonna take me to a secondary tab. Okay, yeah. But anywho, this is the kind of guy we're going with. You can't really see him. It's a lot of black going on. It's like it is an all black kind of color scheme. We're gonna have to do something to break that up. It's a lot of gray and black. We might have to use our imagination just a bit. I know there's some other ones in here that have some extra color, but we might have to. Yeah, he's already basically the right color for this. Yeah, we'll have to play with that a little bit. The all black paint scheme, gotta love it. All right. Hey, what's going on, Road March? Oh, you're playing. Oh, I'm sorry that you're not feeling so well. Thanks for dropping by. Hopefully your party is surviving your encounter in your D&D game tonight. What are we painting? We're painting a little bit more Wolfenstein. I'm feeling a bit wiped from working out and just doing day job, so tonight's gonna be a pretty easy stream. We've got one model. This is gonna be our master model for our kind of run of soldiers, because I didn't actually have time to paint them or to prime them. Essentially, I got home, I had an hour and a half to cook dinner, shovel it down my pie hole, and be in the studio. So, and we're here. That's what we're doing. But yeah, this guy's got this all black paint scheme going on, so we're gonna need to figure out some other colors to throw at this guy. Honestly, I feel like if we're gonna go monochromatic with with black, it's gonna be pretty similar process to the Hounds, just a lot less. This is gonna be kind of a balance thing. We're gonna balance this, and we're gonna do that by selecting a couple of different kinds of gray to put on this guy. We're gonna really try and accentuate the shadows of him, and we're gonna try and accentuate the highlights, so it's gonna be kind of extreme. I don't want to go super crazy. That's transparent white. Not the kind of color I'm looking for. There's a couple of different types of gray that I have in here. Okay, yeah. So far I'm kind of digging this. I'm gonna go because he's in dark neutral gray right now. Oh, what's going on, Dungeon Minister? Hello, hello. Hey, hey, hey. Right back at you. Yeah, we're just kind of chilling tonight. We're just kind of chilling. We only have one model to paint on the desk tonight. We've got a couple other things going on, but it's kind of just a chill stream tonight. We've got we've got neutral gray here, which is going to be kind of our basing tone because we've got a dark neutral gray, a couple of shades darker than what we've got on with this regular neutral. So I'm probably going to throw a bit of that in the airbrush, and we're going to do basically a zenithal with the neutral gray, and then we'll go at it with bright gray, this other color. But we'll go at it with a bright neutral gray for the highlight, and that will be with just a standard brush. So if you want to follow along and paint by numbers, that's what we're using. Hey, all right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Dungeon Minister. I was plugging you earlier. You should have seen. I went through a whole like 3 or 4 minute thing about. I'll tell him when he gets back. I'm gonna get this paint on the paint shaker. We'll get ready to rock. I've been gabbing enough already. No rest for the wicked. Road March, I truly hope you feel better. Having a head cold like that really stinks. All right. We should be good to go with that. All right. Yeah, so now that you're back, I was gonna say I was doing affiliate plugs to bring to open the show. If you haven't seen it, you've got a wonderful Dungeon Minister icon on the affiliate tab of PML. It's at the bottom with all of the other wonderful PML affiliates, which is a whole boatload of fun. Okay, let's get to work, friends. A little bit of work won't kill me. Just a little bit. Brian was checking out the stream last night, and that was kind of fun to hear from him. He's enjoying kind of where some of this stuff is going, so I'm quite happy about that. All right, we're up to pressure here. I'm gonna throw a couple of drops of flow improver in the color cup. A little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. Do a field gray, green collar tabs. Sure. I mean, this is about the closest I'm gonna probably get to a field gray. I think there's like a blue gray. Let me look at my massive wall of paints back here. This is kind of fun. This is all the stock for the PML paint shop, but there's like a blue-gray, which isn't really that gray. Yeah. I mean, they have stuff that's kind of close, but I think this is probably the best way to do it for me, at least. It's either that or like I'd have to go and start with black, and I'm not about to do all that work. We'll start with dark neutral gray, and we'll kind of work our way up. The shoulder tabs part of this, it looks like he's kind of got a bit of. It's got like shoulder pads. I don't see anything. I don't really see anything on there that would be like shoulder tabs, but we'll work on it as we go. I'm sure it'll be fine. That would be a solid paint scheme though if you were doing kind of historically accurate. I don't think that'd be out of place very much, unless if you had some old graybeard guy at the wargaming table with you. All right. I'm gonna put just a couple drops in the color cup. We don't need a ton of paint for these procedures. Cool. Just a little test spray on my glove here. Looks like we're still kind of working through the initial flow improver. There we go. Now we're getting solid lines of paint. Cool. Now, if I can manage to hold this steady, we're gonna get a little bit more close up with our piece here. I don't have this on anything because I kind of ran out of armatures, but that's all right. Robert Rabovsky. Hello, Robert. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to PML. Thanks for joining the other live chat lounge cats tonight as we kind of whip up some crazy Wolfenstein stuff. Kind of just working on these. I think these are like new Colossus era Germans. But we're just kind of doing a quick and easy once over. Trying to create some quick shadows. Since this guy's basically dressed in all black. This is one way to kind of cheese that dark color scheme, is add progressively lighter tones and step it up in your highlights. I mean, literally just a couple of sprays of that has gotten us like a lot lighter. I don't really want to take it much past that, I think. And now we're just going to go in with the lighter gray and start making some highlights with just a standard brush. Cheesebooger, sorry. Good to see you again, Cheesebooger. It's been a little while, lurky. Indeed. Welcome back. So yeah, tonight's again just kind of a laid back night for me. I needed to, I really slept hard last night after the stream. I was just totally exhausted, and I have a feeling it's going to happen to me again tonight. So just trying not to push it too terribly hard. I mean, I've got stuff to get through with this, but most of it's kind of on the up and up. The 3 hounds that we did up last stream. Let's find our kind of kingpin here. These guys turned out really nice. Hey, thanks, Dungeon Minister. It's good to be back in the Creation Cave. And man, was it fun to come see you in good old Canada. That was a heck of a lot of fun. And meet all the heroes of Honeywood. Yeah, hey, no problem, Robert. I give my best. I will try my best to pronounce any name that comes across the chat. As long as it's not crazy or profane, I'll give it a try. Just gonna clean off my palette real quick here. Alright. Next up, I'm gonna put the bright neutral gray on the shaker. How do you guys feel about the background, out of curiosity? I kind of dug these neon flowers. Although it kind of gives off this weird Hawaii vibe, too. I don't know. I'm in a love-hate relationship with it, so let me know, like, the flowers that are in the background over there. Let me know what you think of them. It's, like, halfway up my style, and I just wanted to try them out and see, like, if I was going to dig them or not. Yeah, I know, right? Road March. I'll make sure next time to tell the CBP it's for pleasure and not for business. Good Lord. Learn the lesson the hard way. Oh, well. What can I say? Sometimes it's the only way we learn is the hard way. It's groovy. Oh, okay, yeah, you were talking about the actual image background, not the background music, because we kind of usually do the kind of lo-fi stuff around here. It's strike-free anyways, so... Alright. If you have any questions about painting or anything like that, feel free to ask, because this is also kind of an educational thing, too. Like, I don't mind sharing my process with anybody out there who'd like to learn. That is A-okay by me. Overloaded my brush just a little bit, so I'm kind of taking a little extra time to form the point. So how to tackle this bad boy? I'm gonna try and do a little bit of edge highlighting in a couple of places. Very thin. Very kind of thin line on his helmet. Now we're starting to work with where the light's coming from, and that's gonna be the bane of my existence. I'm gonna regret that a little bit, but I'll just play that how it is. Again, it's just kind of down to putting little details on here, and that's, you know, essentially how we're gonna fake this black, is it's gonna be kind of reflections off of it. We might even dumb these down with a little bit of gray. This is gonna be leather, his little pack here. I'm so happy you remember that one. Hey, what's going on, Frost and Fist? Mythos. Same deal, my guy. You should have been here a little earlier. I was plugging everybody in there, brother. It was great. Trying to do this, fake kind of all black color scheme here the best I can. We're gonna, let's see here. So the light's coming down this way. I'm just gonna give his pants a little highlight here. That's covered by his gun. Yeah. Kind of getting there. Yeah, I might end up doing a wash on this guy to bring the gray down a little bit. I think I should have maybe mixed a little bit of the original color in with this, but now that it's drying, it's actually not too bad. It's always the fun part when the paint kind of changes hue as it dries a little bit. Got a little bit of highlight here. We'll do a little bit on his pants. Kind of just working in small strokes here. Basically anywhere where there's a ridge line on the creases of his pants, I'm coming in here and just making little strokes. Little strokes for little folks. I'm gonna kind of do up his jacket too. Just little hatches. Again, some of these highlights are gonna be dumbed down a little bit, but it'll make it look like there's a bit more definition. Trying to just essentially fool the eye a little bit. I'm really looking forward to the soldiers in this box that have like an actual color scheme. Doing faux black was never my forte. So okay, now he's got this face mask deal. How in the heck am I gonna work that out? It looks like that's silver, a lot of silver going on there. Man, part of me feels like I should go and do, as long as this is kind of our master test model. That's actually crackle medium. I don't need that. I was thinking kind of gloss varnish, actually, for the helmet. Make it look super shiny. We'll see what happens. The faceplate, though, is definitely silver. And it seems like it's that way across the board. It's like a black silver, but we're gonna cheese it. Because we could do dark silver, actually. Because that is one color in the paint range that would probably suit this actually pretty well. As I lose track of all of my paints. Just a moment, friends. Thought I had dark silver in here. Seems like some of my paints have walked off on me. Is it this one? Yes. It's so dark that it looks... This might actually be a candidate for the helmet too. And maybe the gun. But this dark silver color is perfect for kind of what we're going for. It's almost all black in color. So that's what we're going to be going for next, is this dark silver. So I'm going to stick that on the paint shaker. Get it all nice and amalgamated. Gunmetal, yeah, I've got some gunmetal actually from Calvinoni, the one and only, who's probably lurking in the chat somewhere. He's always around here at PML. But I've got some gunmetal somewhere around here from him that we could take a look at and see, maybe do a compare and contrast between Monument and G-dubs. Kind of see the difference. Let's see, this is all my Citadel stuff. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. Well, we could, just for educational purposes, we could go ahead and take a look at some of these paint combos. See what's going on. All right. So we got Iron Skull Gray from P3, which is a company I haven't really used a lot of. And we've got Lead Belcher here from Calvinoni, the one and only. We'll go with that. We'll put them on the paint shaker. We'll see kind of how they stack up. They're a little bit brighter than the dark silver, but still, it could be useful highlight colors. Again, I haven't worked with P3 before, so that'll be kind of a fun little experiment. Just like the other paints, I'm going to put these on the shaker, see how they work, see how they come out. I believe I've used Lead Belcher in the past from G-Dub's line. Yeah, I'm going to put all three of them on the paint shaker for approximately the same amount of time, just so that we have a nice control, or I guess an even playing field, so to speak. Cal sent us these for the Warlord Titan project for 40K, because I do have a Warlord Titan. What happened with that is that once I had it all together, the pins didn't hold because it's made out of foam and like cast sections to make up all the metal bits. They didn't hold, so it did not hold up under its own weight. Even after, you can go and check out the little video that I posted with my super cheesy, all homemade music. I literally made all of that, which was kind of fun. Some of it was a flop, though. I listened to it again, and I was like, man, half these songs are like not the greatest. There was a couple in there, though, that I was actually fairly proud of. But I just threw my own cheesy music in there because I needed filler that wouldn't hit the copyright claims department or whatever at YouTube, because they're kind of like that. So yeah, here's what we're going to be testing out. We got P3, what is this? Iron Skull Gray. Oh, that's just a gray. But we'll still test them out. A base of Lead Belcher, and we're going to be using the dark silver for this guy, but let's check out what this P3 is. Thank you again, Cal. This is a brand new pot. Look at this. This is a brand new pot of paint. Let's see what P3 has to offer. I'm super intrigued. Okay, so they kind of got your own pour spout thing going on. Looks like this could use maybe a little bit more time on the shaker. We'll just get a little bit of this stuff here. Stick it on the palette. This is one of the reasons I'm not huge on GW or types of paint that do this, because they force you to draw it out yourself with either a pipette or your own brush. And I find that doing that, you want to use like an older brush for that. Nice, Dungeon Minister. That's great. Just a hair of water on here, because that's what I do with all the rest of my paints. It might be a bit too much. We'll see. That looks quite a bit runny. Okay, yeah, that's maybe a bit too much. So we'll add a little bit more paint to our palette then, and use that then as our water mix. It's really not that thick. This is a pretty already thinned down paint. I wouldn't use it straight out of the pot, but I mean, very little liquid would be required to make this work. It's not half bad. That's kind of hitting right at the same tones as a little bit darker actually than the last color that we put on our mini. Bit more transparent, but I think that's just my thinning job. Not bad. P3, not bad show at all. Way to go. Have any black? Cool. And then now we got lead belcher from G-Dubs. See. Oi. Okay. Now this stuff is thick. I kind of remember some of this from the G-Dubs line. They make their paint ridiculously concentrated. I'm gonna sauce a little bit down here on the palette. Ooh, this would actually be a good test between the Monument Hobbies. So that's actually looking pretty spicy. I think that might be very close to our other color. Just a little bit of water on the brush to kind of make this move, cover the way we want to. Mythos probably has some good ideas on lead belcher and such. I think, well, you have a lot of paints. You kind of run a gambit of colors and companies. Their Mythos. That's not bad. That is a pretty true gray too. It's not, when you thin it down, it's not skewed one way or the other. That's a pretty true gray. Very nice. Good show, G-Dubs. If they're anything, they're consistent. I will give GW that. If they're anything, they're consistent. And now we have our home paint color, or I guess our partner company. Here at PML, we have Pro Acryl from Monument Hobbies. We'll kind of get a little bit of a compare and contrast on that. I'm super familiar with this paint, so take that as you will. If I might be a little bit biased, this one's darker by a bit. And I think it kind of skews a bit more towards blue when you thin it down and start putting it on. But there's our contrast between the dark silver and lead belcher right there. And it's, yeah, just a little bit darker. And I would say a little bit more on the blue, towards the blue side of the spectrum when it comes to metallics and like grays and silver and stuff. The lead belcher takes the paint, so to speak, when it comes to being an actual true gray. So we'll use that actually as a highlight color. May as well. I try not to mix paint brands too much, but it's all right. We'll do it. We'll see what happens. So I'm just going to come in here. Now we're doing the super tight close-up shots. I'm just going to come in here and give this entire area a thorough helping of this paint. Make sure we get under his helmet. all the way around. There we go. Again, kids, make sure you thin your paints. And this is why. If you just throw it right on out of the pot, right onto your mini, you're going to end up with losing all that detail. And if you thin it down, it'll kind of work its way into the cracks and crevices. Hey, what's going on, Tonka Todd? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. I hope you have a good time chorin. With what good time there can be had with chorin. And I hear you there, Mythos, about specific paints for specific jobs. I'm gonna try. At this point, I'm looking more at the camera than I am my brush because we're at like some micro levels of shenanigans here. We're gonna kind of wet blend this lead belcher into the bottom of his mask here. Very nice. I think that's a winner chicken dinner, if I do say so myself. And once we kind of get some other colors on here, we'll start to improve our all black color scheme. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, as a painter, I already find myself kind of, and I'm young. I'm 28. I find myself kind of going and reaching, like I do have a magnifying glass that I've started reaching towards, and it's reducing the eye strain. The stable hands part is just like having a whole bunch of points of contact between the table and your model, as basically as many fingers and, you know, solid points that you can get helps really with steadying your brush hand, but that can be pretty difficult. We're gonna go and start with I always like doing the dark umber light umber combo when it comes to leather. We're gonna try transparent brown because I want it to be darker actually than the dark umber itself, and kind of use the dark umber as a highlight. I don't know how visible this would be for readability on the tabletop, but this might be a quicker way to kind of make the shadow part of this. Oh yeah, that Nuln Oil, man. Oof. That Nuln Oil is some good stuff too. I have not found one that I've liked better. Although AK's Streaking Grime, for anything that you want to look disgusting, is like perfect. We're gonna bring out some blast from the past here with some of the very first PML minis. We've got our Poxwalkers here. Let's get the camera to zoom in on that. Yeah, so these were some of the very first PML models, and most of this kind of necrotic look was done with Streaking Grime, and then a little bit of mineral spirits. Kind of just washed it off a little bit with a sponge in certain areas, and these guys came out ridiculously good. So that's one that I can't move away. That's one of those kind of wash products I can't move away from when it comes to making something look absolutely horrific. Okay, What was I doing here? Yeah, transparent brown. Let's see how this interacts with our mini. If I remember right, I don't really have to, like, I am going to thin it just a hair, but I'm pretty sure I don't have to thin this. Yeah, it's basically just enough moisture on the brush to get that capillary action, and we're good to go. I'm sorry, the commentary is gonna slow down as I try and not push this paint where it doesn't belong, friends. Let's see. What I'm hoping is going to happen with this transparent brown is it's going to take on a whole bunch of gray hue, which it is. And I'm very happy about that. Sometimes we have happy little accidents around here. This was definitely one of them. Is that a buckle? It's a buckle. There's a buckle there, friends. Just like the clothing store that I've never gone to. Buckle. Okay. Move our mini here real quick. We can kind of reach down in there and finish off this ammo pouch. There we go. Cool. Alright. So we've got... It seems like all the leather. We'll do his boots too. I think we're gonna do... I'm gonna have super black boots though, so we might do those like coal black and come back with gray. We'll do these pads here though. These look kind of leather. Kind of losing the end of my brush here. It's time to do a little rinse cycle. Oh hey, thank you very much for being here there, Rabowski. Nice to, yeah, it is working out for the leather. Thanks for being here with us though. Much appreciated. Always fun to see some new faces around here at PML. So how is everybody doing? Give me the 411 on what's been going on in your neck of the woods when it comes to anything hobby related or just life in general. Okay. What do is do their hands up too. They probably got some leather gloves on or something. We're gonna milk this kind of dark brown as far as it's gonna go. So we need to add some kind of color to this model. A lot of conflicting answers online. Jeez. Care to elaborate? I don't think I'm catching on to what you're putting down there, Dungeon Minister. Alright, so that's where we're at right now. I think the next kind of big part is their plate carrier. Kind of chest riggedy deal. I'm searching through my reference art here to see if there's any variation in color whatsoever. And it doesn't look like it. They're all kinda just all black. They are the classic all black squad up in here. Okay. Well, in that case, now we essentially... Okay, gotcha. Oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah, cheeseburger. Different markets have different designs for cells. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad you guys can help each other out. That's awesome. Very nice. We've got bold titanium white on the paint shaker. Let me bring up that color for you. Bold titanium white is going to be our color of choice for the sigils and markings. It's going to be quite a bit brighter than our kind of light gray that we were using earlier. And I was using that for the hounds. It worked out quite well. Fit that World War II style quite well. Alright. So this stuff comes out thick, which is alright. We will water it down a bit and might actually just like dip my brush in some thinner because that might help. And like just, oops, do a little spill on the I don't usually add a ton of thinner to paint because it will affect the dry time. You'll end up with a much shorter working time. But with this white being so thick, it's one of the only colors I have a gripe about when it comes to Monument. Otherwise, their stuff's like pretty top notch. Like literally the rest of the line. It's just the white that I have a problem with. That's okay. How's that running? Oh, that's running just fine. Cool. I'm gonna back it off maybe just a hair so it's... Yeah, there we go. Now it's in focus. Yeah. There's that thinner at work. You can see how I'm struggling to get this line of paint across. I'm gonna need a little bit of water in here. I find that as long as there's a little bit of a raised edge to catch, as long as you don't put too much pressure on the parts that you want to get the color onto, you should be pretty good. Okay. So we might add a little secret sauce here. I know the reason why these markings aren't red, but now it's kind of clicking home here that these markings should be red, and I'm painting them white. So what we're going to do is let it dry for a minute or two, and then I'm going to come over it with actually like transparent red, and that should help. We got a surprise highlight on our pack here too. There we go. It's a feature, not a bug. That's what I say. Hey! Good to see you, Cheeseburger. I hope Road March is doing good. Hopefully they got some rest. Off to the gun part of this. So we got transparent brown for the leathers. Boots gotta be black too. So we'll get coal black out, and then what else did I need? Coal black. Probably gonna use dark silver on the gun too, and then yeah. So that'll be fine. I'll just reuse that color combo, and we'll probably call that good for our master model. I'm not sure what else I'm gonna do to it, just because I am gonna have to make, or I am gonna have to do like 20 of these dudes. So I don't want to make it too hard on myself, but I also want to make it look clean. I think this guy's kind of looking pretty crispy. We add a little bit of red to him. I think we can kind of probably give him a bit of a null and oil wash too, just to darken up the shadows again, since we went over him already with some stuff, with a little bit lighter gray. Soldiers have nice black boots. That's kind of what I've been thinking here. Just kind of taking my time a little bit. If the base gets black, that's fine. We can touch it up in post. If you like what you see here, please consider doing the YouTube stuffs. You know, especially for those in the replay, it helps. It does the thing. It gets a little bit more outreach to our hobby, you know, and kind of drives traffic. The main goal of PML is to introduce folks to the hobby and painting, I guess, and kind of just the hobby community as a whole. Since we have so many affiliates that do anything and everything under the sun, Mythos does 40k, Dungeon Minister does some back me stuff, old school Dungeons and Dragons kind of stuff. We've got so many folks around here into so many different things, and it's my opinion that that the more love of the hobby that gets spread around out there, the better, because you never know. Like, somebody could be searching for, you know, to fill that hole in the void that they've got in their life. And they might be needing something like the hobby, just in general, not even PML, but could be an open door for them. Some folks, you know, some folks get lonely. Some folks, you know, are, you know, having a rough time out there or whatnot, and could use some company at your family local gaming store, which PaintMiniesLive.com is not a replacement for. Please make sure you save a couple hobby dollars for your local hobby shop if you do intend to patronize us over on PML. But yeah. So some folks might really need to discover that side of the hobby. All right, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go dark silver for his gun, and then we'll finish with doing the buckles up in like just a regular silver color. Will probably be pretty good there. No, okay. Gotta stay hydrated there, Road March. Gotta stay hydrated. Had to polish your boots in the field. Man, I can't imagine. That must have been terrible. Yeah, I'm going on a march, and I'm gonna polish my boots out in the middle of the field. God forbid you end up at the, you know, one of those military bases out in deserty or just dusty areas, and then you gotta like worry about that all the time. That would be tough. I'm sorry to hear that, Road March. Again, I hope you feel better soon. It's never any fun to deal with. Sorry. Trying to keep the stuff in focus. I'm getting better and better at making sure the models, at least in the picture, but not so good at making sure I'm in that sweet spot focal range. Even though this camera does have quite a nice autofocus time on it, it has to deal with me. I think that's its biggest gripe. Oh, gotcha. Very interesting. Road March. Yeah, you want to keep them bad boys in good shape. Hey, you know, to me, their mythos, I think that's kind of what it's all about. If you were to ask me, that is what I would say. The hobby is more about community, in my opinion. Because I mean, otherwise, it can be fun for some folks. Some folks enjoy some solitary action. You know, if they're going to be painting or something. I'm going to cheat a little bit. We're just going to go lead belcher right out the pot, which is monkey see, monkey don't do. But on a time crunch here, friends. I'm going to do a little edge highlighting here on the magazine, and there's this sight. Kind of along the top of the gun barrel here, or the gas shroud. I'm not sure what to call that. Just, I guess, over the top of the gun itself. Just brighten it up just a little bit. So we'll leave, I think we're going to do transparent red because I've got to keep track of this in my mind for tomorrow. So so far I still have good recollection of all the colors I've used, but let's see. Yeah, transparent red. Hey, thanks, Dungeon Minister. Yeah, I think our angry German boy is really starting to turn out. We've got a couple more steps to do, and then kind of wrap it up. I think I am going to throw a Nuln oil wash on here so it'll coffee stain some of those lighter gray ones and bring that hue kind of back into spec, so to speak. Oop. Just one drop of this red is all we need. I can't wait for Balin's time on PML. I've been looking up some new kind of techniques and things. This is a Dungeon Minister's model. I can't wait to paint up Balin when it's his turn on the PML paint desk. We're gonna actually make sure most of this is off the brush. Like, I don't want to overdo this. There we go. The tired painter strokes are starting to set in here. I always know I'm starting to get a little bit tired when, all that's kind of dried off, isn't it? When I start having mist strokes. That's fun. We'll throw a little bit of neutral gray back on the palette here and patch that up. Boop. Just a wee little bit. All right. That little splash of red will probably do it for our mini here. We're gonna do this wash quick. We got. I don't think I want that. Hey, Mythos, if you're still in here, Eggrax Earthshade from Citadel. Is that like a brown? I think it's like a brown wash. I'm not sure. Let's crack this bad boy open and see. That is odd. That's what it is. It's like a... I can't tell if I like it or not. I don't think it's going to work for this particular mini. You can kind of see what it's doing here to my glove and some of the other colors that I've... This is why I do put layers of paint on my glove, is to see how other colors are going to interact with it. And that's kind of why I recommend painters wear a glove, or at least be willing to sacrifice your hands and look kind of crazy at work, is because you can see how different paints interact. Just played a Balin game this evening. Bob Johnny has me on a quest to collect various items. Classic fetch quest. Rode a griffin into enemy territory. Both the griffin and Balin had invisibility. One via spell, the other via potion, and the griffin was hasted by an elf. So you guys were super zoomy. Fun! That sounds like a good time. I'd like to play in one of Bob Johnny's games. Yep, it's brown. Yeah, it definitely looks brown. I would use this stuff for tank treads for sure. Okay, I do still have a pot of Nuln Oil hanging around here, so I'm gonna put that on the shaker though, because I don't think this guy's been touched in months. Thank you very much, Mythos, our resident 40K and G-dubs specialist. Let me know if that's an inaccurate title. I'll change it. Mythos, I'm still looking forward to that Space Marine themed table setting. I bet you anything you could win Better Homes and Garden award for a Space Marine table setting. Creative but disorganized DM. I hear ya. I hear ya. So we're just gonna kind of run this Nuln Oil around. I don't have really a ton of it on my brush. It's mainly just to do some shade work in the places I need it to around this mini. It doesn't have to be anything crazy either. I'm gonna need a little bit more than that, but I don't want to put this on super heavy. I just kind of need it to be a shade in the places it needs to go, namely over the highlights to kind of bring them back. So I'm intentionally going to skip some places here that don't really require it, but we are going to do a decent dousing in certain spots. I don't really want these guys to look weathered because they're kind of like, as far as I've seen and played in the game, because as part of this project, I did a little research, quote unquote. I played one of the newer Wolfenstein games that these guys were modeled after, or like that take part in it. Just to get an idea of the sense and setting. Since I think that's important too. Whatever you paint, you should have maybe a little bit of an idea on how the setting is, so you can get maybe more, get some more ideas for your stuff. And these guys were definitely like guards. They were they were parade ready. They're not frontline troops. The war was over. Heck, we're gonna do it to the gun too. May as well. We'll capture some of those hidden areas in the gun. Yeah. So now you can kind of see how our highlights. I'll give this a good in focus turnaround shot here in a minute. Again, the model's still wet, but you can see now how as this camera begins to struggle with the focus. There we go. You can see now how some of those highlights as this Nuln Oil is drying are just dumbed down a little bit, just ever so slightly. I'm gonna get you out of here. Focus on what we're working on. There we go. Yeah, so they're getting dumbed down just a little bit, and that was kind of the goal. Especially on the helmet, that super bright one up there. I think this guy turned out basically what I was looking for, right there. So yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna do the rest of them tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna prime the rest of them tomorrow. So if you're interested in kind of a chill out session and prime time here on PML, stop on by. It's not the most glamorous thing, but it's a good time to bring up interesting conversations and whatnot. Yeah, that was this guy came out really well, actually. I'm proud of this guy. That's how we'll do the rest of them. All right. 13th Legion, maybe? Oh, why is there a 13 at the bottom of the figure? Okay, so in the game, you roll a set of dice, and depending on what, it's going to be at 8 o'clock there, Road March, CST or CDT. I'm not sure which one we're in right now, but yeah, just basically Central Time here in the U.S. But yeah, so this 13, you roll a dice, and whatever number on the model is the one that gets to move. So you may not get to move, and well, I believe the players get to like move and do something every turn, but then when you roll the dice, the enemy moves. So there's overlapping numbers on some of them, but every model has, I think there is overlapping numbers, I'm not quite sure. But like you can see on this Panzerhund, or whatever they're called, Uberhunds, this one's got a 3. And when I do the base, I'm going to make sure that those are actually done in like gold. I want it to be like very standout. I'm going to make it some kind of super pop out color. And on this guy is number 1 here on the base. So we're going to, that's part of the game mechanic, I believe, is that. Thank you there, Mythos. I very much so do appreciate the compliment. Means a lot. But what means more is having you guys here and everybody around that joined PML tonight. Thank you very much, Dungeon Minister, Frost and Fists, Road March. Even though you were feeling kind of cruddy, you came on in. I appreciate it. I hope you feel better, by the way. Hydrate, rest easy. Rabovsky, thank you very much. Rabovsky, thank you very much for coming in and taking a taste of what PML has to offer. Tonka Todd for being here. Cheese Booger, the epic, the honorable. And then Cal Vanoni, I thought I saw Cal in here at one point too. Maybe not. But I know Cal will be in the replay, so hi, Cal. With that being said, I am Bill T with Paint Minis Live here, wrapping it up in the studio. Thank you all again so very much for joining me tonight as we paint some more Warhammer. I look forward to bringing you a little, not Warhammer, sorry, Wolfenstein. I look forward to bringing you some more Wolfenstein tomorrow at 8 Central. If you'd like to find out what happened with if you'd like to find out what that is in your time, just click the bell icon, or you can go over to the PML Discord. I post the event in there too. It'll just auto do to your time zone. But again, thank you, and everybody have a great night. Game on, paint on, and we'll see you again in the next one. Thanks, everybody.